Welcome to Shoes Off Talk, where we invite people in to get comfortable, to have uncomfortable conversations. I'm your boy Tim McAfee, and on the wheels of steel.
That's right, it's your boy Floyd.
We are without our counterpart today.
Yes.
He had to work overtime, so that meant that he couldn't be on the show, which he worked overtime this morning.
And I had to work this morning, and I had to go home, and I got to get ready, and I came here. So.
No excuses. I just did a video about it. No excuses. None. All right, now that we've ridden him, let's dig in. Let's dig in. So it seems to be it's been stirred up again to where in the news we're talking about trans men advocating to compete in women's sports.
Mm-hmm.
I have more than once let people know how I feel about that. It is unfair. It's disrespectful to women. And I feel like women have enough challenges just being a woman. Now you get somebody that decides that they want to be a woman and want to take over women roles and venture off into women arenas as it relates and pertains to sports. What say you?
Okay. So when it comes to transgender, trans men, trans whatever, unisex, okay, now I don't really believe that they should have the option to play in women's sports at all. So that's like unfair.
It's unfair.
You know, it can get to a point that when I'm playing against them, there are some women that can take a man down.
But at the same time,
yeah.
we say that, but we're talking like competitive high-level sports. We're talking about Division I. We're talking about, there was even a woman that competed in MMA in the women's division, and she annihilated this woman. Like, annihilated. And when they did the interview, she sounded like a man. Like, it was evident. Like, not that you would be confused otherwise, but it was pretty sickening to me. And I'll use the word sickening as it relates to MMA, because I do practice it. I am a pupil of it. I understand the rigors and I understand what goes into that.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, I've been on the mat with high level women. One of our instructors is a black belt. One of her assistants is a purple belt. And I've rolled with both of them. And yeah, I'm a couple years in, and yeah, other than me being able to get them off me, they can whoop most guys' butts on the mat.
Just
including me.
I'm just gonna say it like it is. They beat his butt.
Yeah. In case they're watching, they had me. I mean, they had me. But don't get it twisted. Because your average dudes out there that think you can scrap in the street, I'll get you. But I know my lane. I'm understandable of the work that they put in, the years that they put in,
right.
And that is a sport. But when you talk about MMA, we're talking about me just rolling with them.
Right.
If it was really a combat situation, then who's to say? Like, because I'm so much stronger than them, who's to say how it would turn out in a real street fight? Like, That's, and I'm sure they would hold their own. But the thing about it is, as a man with the strength that you have, like, and that's what I love about jujitsu is it's not really about your strength because your strength can be used against you. And that was one of the things that my instructor told me, when I was rolling with, some high level belts is that, like, Tim, I fear you're going to get hurt because you're trying to outstrong everybody. And that can be used against you. And so I had to change my approach on things and just not, and I think that goes along with sizing people up. Like, people size people up and be like, oh, I'm bigger than him. Okay, that's bigger is not always better, and it does not mean that you're going to get a W. I've seen bigger dudes get their butts handed to them. But as far as competing in combat sports, that is a total unfair advantage because it's not like there's a female that is in MMA and she's competing against a trans that's interested in becoming. That trans may be on the same level. It may be that trans person may have a black belt. Now it's not even equal if the woman has a black belt because now you're talking about man strength. And so I just don't understand it. And really and truly, the people that agree with it is one of two things. They either have somebody that's in that situation that's very near and dear to them, and out of respect for them, they want to hold up that banner for them. The other thing is everybody wants to be politically correct. Nobody wants to have that conversation and say how they really feel, which I think that's one of the bigger problems that we have in this country is that we have so many people that are afraid to speak their truths. Yeah. And it's to the point now to where it's become socially unacceptable to speak your truth.
Well, why is that? Because then if they're speaking, especially on a platform, and you're speaking, if you speak the truth, then you're now it's out there. Now people are just they start judging you, or they start commenting on you. They start sending all this feedback on you. Send it.
I think the biggest thing with people though is we live in a society that wants everybody to like us. We want everybody to like us. And so we don't want to stir no waves, we don't want to cause no ripples, because we want people to view us a certain way. We want everybody to like us. And I say it all the time. I wasn't put here for people to like me. I was put here to live my life according to how God wants me to live my life. Exactly. And if by chance my personality and who God made me is attracted to other people that want to be around me, then that's different. Yeah. But I'm not intentionally doing anything to attract people to me. I'm not going to do that. And that goes along with my opinions. I'm not super boisterous about my opinions, but my opinions matter just like anybody else, regardless of how big or small my platform is. Right. I'm going to speak my truth because there's somebody out there that's scared to speak their truth that feel the same way I do. So you end up being a voice for a number of people that you don't even know.
And the voice for the voiceless. Yeah.
So it's clear we understand how we feel about. I'm not actually, I'm gonna say this, and you can have your comment, but it's gonna be it for me. But it's just to the point that even if I'm in contact with a trans, I'm gonna call you what you are. I'm not saying if I'm not saying she, and I know you're a he. If I'm being respectful, sir, ma'am.
Okay.
If it's a woman, I say yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. If it's a guy, I'm gonna say yes, ma'am, yes, sir. Mm-hmm. I'm not going because I'm sending the wrong message. I'm sending the wrong messages that it's okay for you to become someone that somebody else has spent a lifetime to define as a woman, and you just decide at some point in your life that you want to be a woman. It's disrespectful. It's unfair to the women that have these struggles being a woman, and you don't even have the capabilities to be a woman. You don't have the facilities to be a woman and go through what women go through. You just don't. So you don't get to put on a dress or even have boobs put it and call yourself a woman. There's more to it than that. I'm not going to disrespect my mom. I'm not going to disrespect my sister who's been a woman all their life, and I've seen what they go through as a woman.
Right.
You're not getting that. I'm not going to let you off the hook like that. I'm not going to let you off the hook. Same thing with lesbian women that want to have their boobs removed and get short hair and put on tight jeans and wear the tight shirts and think that you're a man. You're not a man. You're not a man. You're a man until you go up against a man. That's different. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to be a man. It takes a lot to be a woman. You don't just get to be. You just don't get to overnight decide that you're opposite, but you want to be the opposite of what God made you to be. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Right.
I'm sorry, that's not how it works. All right, so we kind of get a little passionate about that, but
wait, before you go on there, I wanted to piggyback off that. Now, there was a guy at my old job. And I had, he came in, his name is Jennifer, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm like this, well, you call yourself Jennifer, that's what you want to call yourself, that's fine, you call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. But for me, it's like, if you a guy, I'm like, okay, yes sir, hey, sir, I'm like, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Can you do that? And in the meantime, while I'm saying that, I'm like, sir, can you do this? You know, dude, man, come on, man, you do this, you know. And he goes and tells the manager that, you know, we're calling him sir, we're calling him dude, we're calling, you know, stuff like that. So he goes and tells the manager that. So she comes and talks to us. She's like, okay. She said, now, Jennifer is complaining that, you know, y'all calling her sir, calling her and all that. But I was like, he is a sir. Floyd, no. He came to us as Jennifer. So he's Jennifer. I said, well, you came to us as Jennifer, but he's a dude, he's a guy. So if he was a full woman and I called that woman sir, okay.
You get to pick your name. You don't get to pick your gender.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't get to pick your gender. I'll call you whatever you want me to call you. You can call yourself Son of Sam. I'll call it. You tell me we introduced and you call me. You tell me that I go by Son of Sam, I'm calling you Son of Sam. Right. It ain't up to me to decide how you came up with that.
Right.
But if I'm obviously looking at you and you are a female, and you want me to call you by a dude's name, that's fine. But my references as it pertains to sir, ma'am, bro, buddy, all of that, I'm going to refer to you as such according to what your gender is.
There you go.
Not based on what your name is. I'm referencing you based on what your gender is. I tell people all the time, if you don't want my honest opinion about that, don't ask me.
There it is.
Because I'm gonna give you my honest opinion, and I'm not gonna be disrespectful with it, and I could care less who around me at the time agrees with it.
Unapologetic conversation.
Come on, shoes off top.
Come on.
Hey, that's us over here. So, moving on. Kind of miss Barbell over here.
Yeah.
Miss giving crap.
Yeah.
So,
no, you know what? The real reason why he ain't here, because he couldn't think of a name for himself.
Oh yeah, he is on the roll with these little monikers.
So that's what
little
it is.
Extra names.
Right.
Well, he has time now because we will be back next week. I saw something on social media as well. Is And it was a valid point. It made me think, why is it okay for women to speak freely about a man as far as like what they want, what they don't want, this and that, and speak freely about it. And I'm gonna use an example like how TLC said, back in the day, I don't want no scrubs. Speaking of men that don't have it together. Why is it we can't say that about women without being ridiculed, ostracized? Why is that? Why can't we do that?
Well, for one, they don't, women don't see men talking to them in that way. Well, I will say not all women, but the women that I know, well,
tread lightly.
Yeah.
Tread lightly. I see you over there picking and choosing your words. Choose them wisely.
Well, some women, they feel that men should, talk to them or say things to them in a proper way. Right. So, I get it. But for the other women, that's not on that level, then how a man, the way that man treats you, then, or say to you, and you like, okay, well, it is what it is, that's who I am. So right.
Yeah. About that. It's not a strong feeling that I have toward that. I mean, it's not, and I don't feel like I'm at a point when we talk about this that I can like literally go in. It's not that at all. It goes back to our previous conversations. We live in a society where people want to hear politically correct things, and it's socially acceptable for a woman to do and say things that a man can't. Women are a protected species, and I agree with that to an extent. Right? When you step outside that box of being a woman, you really open yourself and you subject yourself to ridicule.
Yeah.
And it is a per woman basis. It's not every woman, but a guy should have the same freedom that a woman should have, being upfront and honest about what he wants and what he doesn't want to put up with.
But why is it so hard for a man to be honest to a woman without getting them ridiculed?
Well, I think it's the same thing to me as if it's okay for a woman to come punch you in the face, but it ain't okay for a man to punch a woman in the face.
So because you're a man, the man here, you're abusive.
Yeah, I mean, it just, we looked at that and said that, hey, if a woman punches you in the face, it doesn't have the same effect as when a man punches you in the face. I grew up around some women that would have a tendency to disagree with that.
Right.
They live under the general adage that if you put your hands on somebody, you can get them hands put back on you,
right,
regardless of what the gender is.
Oh yeah.
And I think if you are that person that so freely feels like as a woman that you can do that, you need to understand what comes with that, because you're gonna have some gentlemen out there. I say it all the time. A woman put her hands on me, I might not hit you, but I'm gonna shake the shit out of you.
You're right.
I'm gonna give you, what is that, sudden baby infant syndrome. I'm gonna shake the shit out of you. Like, I'm gonna get you up off me. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna hit you.
Right.
But yeah, I'm gonna shake the shit out of you. So yeah, I'm gonna get you up off me. Because there's some women out there that can do some damage, bro. And that's typically how there's levels of abuse, and there's different types of abuse. There's the verbal, there's the physical, and there's the mental abuse. And then there's different different levels of physical abuse. You know, it starts off, I'm just grabbing you. Okay. Then all of a sudden, the grabbing turns to hitting. Then the hitting with your hands, then a step from that is now becomes even more physical. You start picking up objects, hitting me with it, hitting each other with it. And I think like you need to, when you see that type of stuff even brewing in a relationship, where things are becoming abusive, regardless of what kind of abuse, because mental abuse is worse than physical abuse.
Yeah.
You can shake off physical abuse. You can't really shake off mental abuse because that stuff has a tendency to linger with you over time.
Right.
The physical abuse, like I said, you can shake that off, but the mental abuse has more effect on you, especially if it's something that you've consistently found yourself involved in. Relationship after relationship has been mental abuse. Then you start questioning yourself and saying, hey, is it me? Not only that, you start accepting that because then you start thinking that that's the way people show love.
Okay.
Because what you start doing is you start making excuses for your abuser. And so what that makes you do is that makes you stay in relationships longer than you should, abusive relationships longer than you should.
But he loves me.
Yeah. And a lot of relationships that have ended in death because that person has been in it so long and been damaged so long that they think that's how love is shown. And by the time they figure it out, it's too late.
Oh, but he said he's not going to do it again.
Yeah.
It was just, he just had a bad day.
And that has something to do with insecurity as well. When you're insecure, and we can keep it plain. You know, sometimes people venture outside of their lane. They get with these guys or these women that physically look better than anything they've ever had. So looking at the optics of it, like, yeah, I'm just honored to be with him. He chose me, and he can have any man or woman he wanted, and he chose me. Forget the fact that I done bounced off every wall in this house. When we go out, we look good together. I may go home and get two-pieced every night, but when we go outside this house, and we joke about it, but it's a sad situation, man. And I really speak life into the idea of people understanding that that's not okay. From a man's standpoint and from a woman's standpoint, because you got just as many women out there that's manipulative as well with these men. Yeah. And with women, it's more that makes a man stay with you through abusiveness than it is a man. Typically, with a man, it's the mental part of it, but it's more, to me, it's more physical, just because they're so domineering. But with a woman, she's just so gifted with her talent. And we'll keep it 100. This is shoes off top.
Yeah.
The sex.
Yeah.
The sex.
Mm-hmm.
There's men that have moved on in marriages that's still trying to reach back because of the sex.
Wow.
And they're letting these people tear their lives up for a few minutes of emotion stimulation. And it's just that, but that's the society we live in. We want that quick fix. We want that right now pleasure. We want that ooh-wee pleasure. And it truly is. I used to hear older people say that, if you can't stimulate me mentally, you definitely can't stimulate me physically.
Right.
Because the thing about it is, after the physical stimulation is gone, you looking at that person like, why did I do this? Why did I do this? I put myself in the same situation I told myself I wasn't gonna put myself in. But it happens.
Yeah.
And what it is a lot of times, bro, is just the fact that something's missing in that person's life. And it could be that. It could be the sex part of it. It could be the communication part of it. It could be different things that now they're turning to somebody that they know is good at communication, that's good at sex, that's good at the things that they're not getting. And so, once again, I think that's insecurity, though. I think that has a lot to do with insecurity.
But then that goes back to, we talked a few moments ago, well, a few shows ago, of that hole.
Ooh.
The holes that you leave, that you have in your life, there's holes.
I thought you said hoes. I'm like, it goes back to that hoe. What? I'm telling your man, you don't go calling people hoes. You go. Stop. You gotta start enunciating your words. I did. Spell it out or something, don't you? Bro. I just turned my head like 3 times, like, did you say that? And you kept reiterating, like, you don't get it? Yeah, what I'm getting is not what I think you're supposed to be saying. I got it. Holes.
Yeah.
Holes.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you were.
But yeah, so basically, they're trying to fill this gap in their life that if they don't need the sex, then they need the communication. You know, so basically that communication, there's a gap there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like you say, they need that. They're trying to fulfill that. So basically, if that person over there is not giving them that communication, then they going over here to get that communication.
And it's important too, because the flip side of that is if you're in a relationship with someone and they're asking you, physically asking you, or have asked you for things in relationship that should come natural and you're not giving that to them, you gotta know that at some point it's gonna get to a point they're gonna seek it elsewhere.
But what if they don't ask?
Then that's a problem with that person. Like you can't be held liable for somebody.
But you are. But you are. Because as a man, they feel like you should be already equipped with all of those things.
Well, we also got to consider that life happens, and as you get further into your relationship with someone, you know, I would say you take them for granted, but you just get so comfortable, which I can't stand it. Don't get me wrong. Just because I'm saying it doesn't mean that I agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
You get comfortable in relationships, and you feel like that I don't really need to do the things that I did that either made me attracted to this person from the beginning, or, you know, keeping it spicy. You know, we good. You know, we in this thing, we 10 years in, we 5 years in, we good. We ain't got to. But you're wrong.
Right.
You're wrong. You don't bamboozle somebody into a relationship with you and take away the things that was initially attractive to them about you. And it's the same way with your health. If I met you and you looked a certain way, even after kids, don't get me wrong, I know women's bodies go through changes and all of this other stuff, but you should be diligently trying to get your body back to as close as possible. We know it's not possible once you go from not having kids to having kids, but it should still be a desire of yours to want to not let yourself go.
Well, yeah, in that sense, but then also the more important one is for your health.
Bro, that is the most important one, right? But once again, you know, it's a societal thing to where, you know, instead of us pushing people to do better as it pertains to their health, we come out with this thing like self-love. Love yourself. Love yourself as you are.
Okay.
And so now that becomes an excuse, that becomes an scapegoat to where, you know, I ain't gotta go to the gym. I keep eating everything that I want to eat as long as I love myself. No, well, you're gonna love yourself to the grave.
That's right.
Because what you're doing is you're creating problems and you're using it as an excuse so you don't have to fix the problem.
Right. Yeah.
What they say, in any kind of addiction, the first thing to even resolving addiction or combating addiction is to admit you even have an addiction
12 steps.
or a problem. And it's just, I said this the other day, man, it's like we have an expectation of people that we want everybody to be honest. Honest and upfront.
Right.
All you gotta do is tell them. What you don't realize is these very people are not even honest with themselves. How do you expect them to be honest with you?
That's true.
They continue to lie to themselves time after time after time after time. What do you think you're gonna get? What do you think you're gonna get?
Not the truth.
Most people love themselves more than they love other people.
To a point, yeah.
I would say most, because that is another issue we have in today's society. But yeah, like if somebody's gonna lie to themselves, you're next, right?
Oh yeah.
It ain't gonna change.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna change, and that's something that you have to understand. And I don't want to really dive off into what I was about to say, so we gonna end in that topic on that.
What's that?
This is something that chaps my hide. This on again, off again relationships. And I'm not talking like I was in a relationship. Well, I'd say I was dating. And I dated someone for like 60 days, 90 days.
Wow. Okay.
And I just got out of something, and within that time, within that 90 days, I was very honest. I'm very honest and upfront with myself first. And that way it makes it easy to be honest with other people, right? And you're honest with yourself. And so at 90 days, I was like, nah, this doesn't work for me. I was like, I still got some stuff that I need to resolve, I need to get through, and I'm not gonna do it in this relationship, because this relationship needs a lot of work. Like, I can see where this is going. So we mutually split ways. I think it was like a year later, I was in a better place, and it just organically happened. But I had a more clear mind.
Okay.
But even then, having a clear mind allowed me to see things about this person that I didn't see. And so that lasted 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
And that was it for me. That was it. That is the closest that I'm going to get to recycling people. and I call it recycling.
Yeah.
Because you really are.
You're recycling.
And I'm hearing about these people that are going through 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years of recycling and on and off relationships. And this
Where is Marvell?
What is it with these? What is it with these on again, off again relationships? I just don't get it. Are we battling that much insecurity that we just want to hang on to this person that you have no future with? Why?
SEX.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
And I'm gonna tell you, men.
I can see it. Doesn't mean I condone it.
Right. See, to some men, that's how it is. We get to a point that we want to be with this one, but then it comes to find out, oh, I really don't want to be with her. I just want to have sex with her. That's it. But we're trying to string her along because of that.
Bro, that's actually that's very true. But what brought it up for me was the female aspect of it.
Okay.
Seeing females go through it and doing the on again, off again. That's the greatest thing for a man. You mean to tell me, you only gonna call me when you want to have sex?
Here you go.
And after that, I can just act up and go do what I want to do. And I know it's like clockwork. You gonna call me in about a month? When we together, we together. Once again, we're laughing, but It's really not funny. It's a serious problem because the simple reason is that a lot of these people are parents, and the message that I think the message that's so damaging to your kids, seeing that, um, it's just not fair to them.
No.
It's not, even if your kid, there's no way that after multiple years of you going on and all that, your kid doesn't know.
I mean, because you got a woman bringing in different guys coming in the house, then you got a guy bringing in different women in the house, and your kids are right there seeing all of them. What do you expect them to turn out to be? Oh, it's okay, my daddy did it. Oh, it's okay, my mama did it.
Yeah, we as parents, and that it's actually a prelude to the other part of this. We as parents need to understand that our kids see everything. They pay attention to everything.
Oh, yeah.
They may not comment, they may not react to it, but they see everything.
Come on.
And if you are raising kids in a household where they are exposed to damaging relationships, they are going to think when they get to the dating age that that's how a relationship is supposed to look. As a parent, you take on an ultimate responsibility. Your life is no longer about you. I don't care, your kids move out, they get their own family. Your life is not about you. You don't have to be the mom and dad that you were when they were adolescents or they were younger, but you're still a parent.
Right.
You don't get a get out of jail free card and get postponement of being a parent. You are forever, you brought that child in this world, you are forever a parent. So you have to conduct yourself as such. Understanding that our kids hold us, they may never say it, they may tell us they don't like us because we make unpopular decisions and all of this other stuff.
I hate you.
But as you get older, your parent is the guideline for how you're going to choose your life, spend the rest of your life. What you saw is what you think is supposed to happen in your life. So we need to be more mindful as parents that, our kids are watching us. That our kids are watching us. You don't get to say I'm the parent about everything. You don't get to do wrong and live your life wrong in front of your kids and say, well, I'm the parent.
Why, Daddy? Why, Mama? Because I say so, because I'm the parent.
There's certain things that you can't say that about. But if you're conducting your relationship in the wrong way and not leading your life that is conducive to your child being able to look at you and say, okay, that's how I want to lead my life when I get old, then that's the problem. The I'm a parent card, you don't get to use it for everything.
Pull it out. I got a spare back. Let me pull that out.
Let me pull out my VIP card. They give me past the line. No line, no cover.
Oh my God.
With this VIP card. All right. So, I can't have a show and not talk about sports.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna talk about. I don't understand why a lot of people that know me, they feel like I have such a hatred for LeBron. When at no point in any conversation have I talked about this man personally or even spiritually. Not ever. I've actually gone on record saying that I saw Steven Jackson, somebody had approached him and they asked him who the GOAT was. Steven Jackson made it clear, like, hey, Michael Jordan is the GOAT. Like, it's not even close. But he said, if I had to choose a life, a career, and a career in life, which one would you choose? Mike's career in life or LeBron's career in life for your child?
Mm. Okay. Okay.
He said LeBron all day long.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree with him.
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
And I had one of my guys that kind of bashed me on this. He was like, Jim, why would you say that, this and that, and this and that? This is when you know somebody that really dislikes LeBron. So my reasoning was, and understand, like, we wear the brand. If this one is failure is part of success, you have one on that says failure steps to success. So we understand what this word is. We understand what failures are.
Right.
And we understand that without these, we don't get to places in life that we want to go without these. You don't get to go around these or over these or any of that. You got to go through these.
Right.
And never would I want my child to not go through these.
But see, you got to go through that to get to what?
Success. You got to go through that to get to anything. You can't go around failures. Failures is the stepping stone to anything successful that you want to do in your life. You can't. But you're asking me about my child. I'm gonna phrase it like this. I definitely want I want my child and my grandkids to not be spoon fed. I want them to know what life struggles are about. But if I have an opportunity to have them learn from their struggles without taking them to the extreme struggle, I would want that for my children and my grandkids. That doesn't mean that you're without struggle. That doesn't mean that you're not without struggle. That's not it at all. When I look at Michael Jordan's life, the heartache and the pain that he had to go through for losing his dad, the struggles that he, quote unquote, battled with gambling, and different things. Would I want my son or my kids to go through and we're not gonna call it addiction because that's just hearsay. But for our purposes, we'll say addiction, gambling addiction.
Okay.
Would I want my child to go through that or just maybe experience some losses? Like if you had to pick and choose, like I would pick the lesser of evils.
Yeah.
If I can get my message across, if you can learn from not having to go through the super hard trials of life, and you can learn from like small mistakes, I would rather want that for my child than them have to go through the having to be homeless, the having to go without eating.
But then they put that on themselves. Then as a parent, even though you do what you're supposed to do as a parent to that child, but then that child will make that decision to do the opposite.
Yeah. As a parent, your job only goes so far. Your job is to provide your kids with the tools they need to be successful in life. Whether if you choose to believe in God or what, or Christianity or what, if you are a Christian, your job is to give them an understanding of the Bible and what the Bible says, what you have been taught, how you were raised, and provide them with those tools. Are they going to necessarily use every one of those? No. Because curiosity, we're human. We're human. If we didn't have any problems, then we wouldn't have to exercise faith. So, literally, if I had to choose somebody's life and career, I would choose LeBron. LeBron has gone through stuff in his life. Don't get me wrong. Like, he was raised in a single-parent house. He's been through it.
Right.
I would pick LeBron. He's got this golden boy image, and I know he's been through it. I would want LeBron's career. Do I think he's the GOAT? No. But I kind of digressed a little bit. But do you think that LeBron's playoff exit of being swept, do you think that hurt his legacy?
No. I don't think so. I think that more so it's just gonna motivate him to do even more.
Hold on. So one of the things that I don't like about LeBron is like how he makes everything about him and how he has to be the center of attention about everything pretty much. And once again, he did it again in the playoffs. Granted, there was a question that was asked that kind of led to this. They basically asked him after asking all of the playoff questions, hey, what's the future hold for you? You know, word is you talk to so-and-so and possibly looking at retirement. That opened Pandora's box. Then he started, who knows? You know, my body has been taking a wear and tear and this and that and this and that. He set it up to where now the world is going to be held hostage because now we're not talking about the playoffs as much as we were. Now we're talking about, okay, what the Lakers going to look like next year? Is LeBron going to be there? Is he retiring? What team is he going to be on next? And this and that. To me, that was just like the decision. When he did the decision and he held the world hostage. Granted, if somebody asks you about retirement, it's like, hey, that ain't something. That's something that once that bridge, when it comes to that, and I have to cross that bridge, then I'll talk about it. But right now, it's the playoffs, and I just lost, so I'll go home and enjoy my family. Everything else is on hold. We're not going to do that. I'm not going. And you've had players that say, I'm not going to take the spotlight off of my teammates or make this about me. Like, you know, I need to be there for my teammates. This is uncharacteristic of us, you know, going out like this. But he chose to make it about him, and it just, now the whole world's standing still. I heard somebody say like the league can't even move forward until they find out what he's gonna do. Like that's wrong to me. And that just goes back to like, I don't have a hate for LeBron by no means. I don't. I know the guy. I've hung out with the guy. He's hung out with my mom. We're not besties, like, not like that, but, you know, I met him through Ray Allen. I met him through different people and hung out with him. I don't hate the guy. I just don't like what he's done in the league and how he moves around so freely. And it wouldn't be bad if you're going to be a pioneer for that. If you're going to be a pioneer for that and you're going to open up the door for everybody to do it, you know, then that's different. But if only you can do it, bro, in LA, in his 4 years in LA, they've gone through 22 different players. 22! Wow. 22. And we're not going to talk about this year. It's going to be 10 or 12 of them that's out there as it is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a basketball purist. I love the game. Professional sports in general is not a pure. There's very little that's pure about it. And it ain't just started. Like sports have been tampered with and all of this for years. I've had conversations with pros, and you know they know a lot of them can't say it because they are still tied in with the league that they played in, and that's understandable. But I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see that the game is being tampered with.
Right.
At what point was it okay ever back in the day to gamble on games and you not go to jail? It was illegal. No matter where you were at, it was illegal. Now it's in the actual arena where the game is being held.
Yes. And they building them time after time after time.
Oh, like
areas. They just announced they're building a new one in Chandler, a new facility, and you can gamble up in there. And that's what's sad. And there's people that's still serving time for gambling, for sports gambling. There's athletes that have not gotten their just due, whether it be the Hall of Fame, whether it be awards, whatever it is, because their name was tied to sports gambling. So they can't get no retro off of that? Like, okay, since it's illegal.
Bro, they're not letting people out of jail for for being caught with small doses of weed. That's legal now.
And they're supposed to have done that though.
They were supposed to have.
But then, okay.
But that takes money out of their pocket when they let people.
It does that, but then even though they do say, okay, you're scratched from the whole weed and all that stuff, but they do tie some other crimes to you, so they can keep you in there.
Oh yeah. Hey, they're gonna figure out how to make. We live in a society in our country, if it doesn't make dollars, then it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Everything is about the dollar. You can sit there. Bro, they make it, I don't even gamble, but I hang out with people that do gamble. If a guy goes to the free throw line, bro, you can make a gambling bet if he's gonna make one free throw or two free throws.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you mean to tell me this game, Donahue, the referee that got arrested, a few years ago and had to go to prison because he was, affecting games and he was betting on games and he was tied in with the mob or the cartel.
Okay.
Bro, he had when they got his phone, he had 150 phone calls to one ref. 150. It was known back then that other ref was just as involved, but that other ref was also like a big name ref. And they looked at other calls that he had made to other referees, and it was only like 13 calls between all the other referees. The only other lengthy phone call list was when he was calling the cartel or the mob that he was having ties with. But, you know, if y'all out there, y'all think the sports of today, professional sports, are pure, you are sadly mistaken. You need to wake up. You need to talk to someone, because that is not the case at all. I would love to be able to think that, but it's not. So, we come to the conclusion of today's show. Like I said, I miss my man Larvell.
But before we go into that, I want to do a quick thing right now. How we talked about the failure brand, right? You see the sparkle, the glitter?
Oh yeah. We got the new material that we're using now. This is glitter.
Look at that glitter.
It's so pretty.
It's so pretty. Make sure you get yours.
When I lean certain ways, and I got it in like silver, black, gold, red, green. Yeah.
And then where do they go to go get it?
FailureSTS.com. Failure STS. The STS stands for Steps to Success, but I hyphenated it. So it's FailureSTS.com, or you can message me on any of the platforms and just let me know what you need. I got you. Right. I got you, player.
See, and Wyclef, he got his.
Oh yeah.
Failure hat.
Yeah. So, that's another reason why I ain't really go in on Larvell, because Larvell looked out for his guy. I put together a package for Wyclef and he gave it to him directly. And so he might get a couple passes. We might have to not dock him being late for a couple episodes.
I'll say, yeah, okay.
Maybe just one.
Yeah.
Maybe the next one. Larvell, you get one more pass.
That's it.
That's it. Love you, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to Shoes Off Talk. It's always a pleasure. Like I said, we love the feedback. We look forward to the feedback, whether negative or positive, because it's all encouraging. It all helps. We're trying to grow this thing as big as we can. If you have any ideas, please message us, either myself, Larvell, or Floyd. We will dig into it. If there's any topics that we talked about in the past you want to talk about again, we do that as well. We do have some guests coming up over the next few weeks, and we will be making the announcement about who these guests are. But if you have someone that you think would be good on the show, let us know that too. So, want to thank you guys for tuning in. Love, peace, and